So in this video, I'm going to be sharing 7 plant-based recipes that will be sure to impress your friends, your family, or maybe even just yourself for the Super Bowl this year. Now, whether you are planning to host a Super Bowl party, or maybe you're planning on attending one with others, or hey, maybe you're even planning to just chill and watch the Super Bowl in the comfort of your home with your friends, your family, or maybe even just you. I'm telling you all, you can't miss with these 7 recipes that I'm going to share. Now, before we jump into all of that, if this is your first time joining our channel, my name is Khalil, and on this channel, we provide content to help people live long and healthy lives, disease free, by making sound daily food choices. And so we share everything from plant-based recipes. We also share educational content focused on longevity and vitality. So those are a lot of the central themes around this channel. So if you feel like this type of content is something that you would enjoy and that's for you, then highly encourage you to subscribe to join our community. And I also want to let you all know about our free juicing guide that we currently have available. We'll leave a link to that down in the description below. And this guide is really nice because it not only gives you some specific juicing recipes that you can use, but it has a very cool kind of method and a guide mapped out that allows you to build your own custom juices. I mean, y'all got to just check it out and try it for yourself. And you can even use this even if you don't have a juicer. Even if you just have a blender, you can still make all of these juices. And actually, that's what we use in our household. We don't have a juicer ourselves. We make all of our juices using a blender. So if you feel like that is something that would be helpful for you, again, that link to that guide will be down in the description below. So encourage you to check it out. But it is that time of the year again, folks. Here we are, another Super Bowl. And I mean, I just feel like February is just a big month where so much is happening and going on. I mean, you got Super Bowl, you got Valentine's Day. Speaking of which, we're going to be doing a live kind of centered around Valentine's Day and specifically why you should eat more chocolate. I know that might sound interesting to some of you, but yes, you heard me correctly. Why you should eat more chocolate and how chocolate could be of great benefit to your health. So make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on that live. And then, of course, February is also Black History Month. Got to acknowledge that. And so even on this channel as well, we'll be doing some content focused on Black men and women's health. So again, if you feel like that would interest you as well, make sure you're joining us. But yeah, Super Bowl is always a very interesting and cool time of the year. Definitely want to know from all of you out there, who's your pick to win the Super Bowl this year? I mean, we got Chiefs and 49ers once again this year. Okay, this is a rematch from some years ago, I think 2020. But who you got? All right, Chiefs, any 49ers fans, any Chiefs fans out there, anybody from the Kansas City area? Shout out to my sister and her family. They live in the Kansas City area. And so, yeah, I mean, I personally think that the Chiefs are going to win. I just don't foresee anybody derailing Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, the whole squad that they have, Andy Reid as a head coach. I mean, they are the dynasty of our era now. All right. So they're what most of us, millennials and older, we remember the Patriots from the 2000s and the 2010s dynasty. Now we have the Chiefs. I feel like their dynasty is in full effect. But yeah, let us know who you all have. And as always, folks, if you want to skip to a certain part in this video to check out a specific recipe, we will have the timestamps below. So if you're watching the recording, then make sure you take a look at those if you would like. But let's go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? Let's not waste any time because, as we know, the Super Bowl at the time of shooting this video, it is tomorrow, right? And so some of you all are probably planning. And then again, for those of you all who do eat a plant-based diet or are trying to eat more of a plant-based diet, you might be looking for some ideas, but you might not really know what to make. And so, again, I truly believe that these recipes will be recipes that you will enjoy, and they'll also probably impress some of your non-vegan or non-vegetarian friends. And so one thing about all of these recipes is that They're all not just healthy, all right, but they are all quick to make. They're fun recipes and they taste good because on this channel, we believe that plant-based foods and meals should taste good. That's what my wife and I are all about. So let's dive right in. But before we get into the recipes themselves, if you all know me, you all know I like fun and interesting facts. So I found this infographic. Shout out to Premio Foods for putting together this cool little infographic that just shows some interesting food facts for Super Bowl Sunday. So just thought it'd be a nice way to kind of segue into the topic and just for kicks and giggles, all that good stuff. Y'all know how it is. But couple fun facts if you didn't know these: Super Bowl Sunday is the second largest food holiday in the US, next to Thanksgiving. I actually did not know that, but it does not surprise me. Unlike Thanksgiving, Super Bowl Sunday is one of the most popular days of the year to order takeout. 1 in 7 Americans order takeout on Super Bowl Sunday. Okay, so that is more than 10%. That's crazy. Let's look at what else. 60% of those takeout orders are pizza. You probably guessed that. In fact, pizza is one of the top 2 Super Bowl snacks. The second, of course, is wings. Of course, chicken wings. Folks in the U.S., I mean, hey, people love their wings. We love our wings here in the U.S. Even though I don't personally, or we don't personally eat chicken wings anymore like we used to. We might do some, buffalo cauliflower wings, or we might do some types of boneless quote unquote wings made of mushrooms or things like that, or maybe we'll just find something kind of a pre-made type of chicken and eat them that way. But wings are big. The National Chicken Council estimates that Americans eat more than 100 million pounds of chicken wings on Super Bowl Sunday. That's about 1.25 billion wings. I don't fully know the precision and the accuracy of these stats. These, some of these are probably estimates based on, some survey data out there, but it is interesting to kind of look at. Over half of Americans who eat chicken wings prefer to dip their wings in ranch dressing. Any ranch lovers out there? Let us know in the comments. Sausage is the 3rd most popular pizza topping in America. All right, I actually didn't know that. What else? Veggies are popular dippable snack, but the most popular, of course, is potato chips. 11.2 million pounds of potato chips will be munched on and dipped on Super Bowl Sunday, as well as 8.2 million pounds of tortilla chips. Gotta love your tortilla chips. 4 million pounds of pretzels may be dipped as well. Folks, we love to dip stuff. The weekend of the Super Bowl is the second biggest grilling week of the year after the 4th of July. So it's crazy how big the Super Bowl kind of matches up to these other big holidays like Thanksgiving and the 4th of July. Nearly 14 billion burgers will be grilled up and served for the big game. Crazy. 14 billion. 32% of Americans say they plan on eating some form of dip on game day, including 8 million pounds of guac. Think about that, 8 million pounds of guac. We actually are going to share an easy 10-minute guacamole recipe in this video, so make sure you are on here to check that out. We also have a pizza recipe on here as well. During the 2014 Super Bowl, over 40,000 sausages and hot dogs were served. All right. This is the one that got me, though. All right. This is the kicker for me. Once game day comes to an end, antacid sales increase roughly 20% the Monday after the Super Bowl, and around 1.5 million Americans will call in sick to work. Snack wisely, my friends. I thought that was just hilarious. But, hey, when we think about the Super Bowl and your typical Super Bowl or football party food, a lot of it is hearty, right? A lot of it, some of it might be spicy even. And this is one of those occasions where, similar to days like, Christmas or Thanksgiving or 4th of July, we often tend to maybe overeat or eat more than we had planned, especially with the Super Bowl. A lot of snacks, a lot of finger foods. And so my hope is that in sharing these recipes, they will provide you maybe with some options that are still maybe a little hearty and fun, but a little bit on the lighter side, seeing that they do contain more plant-based ingredients. And so that's again another hope by the end of this video. Hopefully you'll have some options that you can enjoy these things without worrying about getting heartburn later that night, or having to pop some Pepto-Bismol and Tums and Prilosec OTC. All right, you know, not knocking you if you do have to use those things, but we want to try to avoid you needing any of those things. So all right, let's go ahead and take a look at these 7 plant-based recipes for the Super Bowl this year. And if you are enjoying this content so far, then definitely let us know in the comments. It goes a long way. But let's look at the first recipe, and that is a simple cashew cheese sauce made from, I just said it, actually cashews. So a simple cashew cheese queso. All right, just to show you the ingredients. This is a very easy sauce to make, a very easy cheese sauce. If you didn't know, you can make cheeses and cheese sauces with plant-based ingredients. Nuts like cashews are a very easy ingredient base to use in order to make different cheese sauces. And so with this one, we use about 2.5 cups of cashews. We also put hot water. Basically what you need is a blender for this. So you take your cashews, you place hot water on them, or place them in hot water, let them soak for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then from there, you just add all of your seasonings that you see here: nutritional yeast, smoked paprika, cumin, fresh garlic, and some chipotle peppers, or more of those if you want them to be hotter. Chipotle peppers and adobo sauce, those come in a can. And then some other seasonings. All of these recipes that you all will see on here include seasonings that you can add according to your taste preference. And so just to take a quick peek at this, as you all see, a quick peek of me in my old football days. But this is the cashew cheese sauce, all right? And y'all, it is excellent. We've been making it for probably about a good few years now. And I mean, it's nice, it's creamy, it's all the things. And I mean, it really does taste like a really solid cheese sauce. I mean, I'm not just saying that. I mean, it does taste good. As you see right here, we're pouring, all of the ingredients. You just place them in. Like I mentioned, it's easiest to use really hot water. Sometimes we'll even add like some nearly boiling water, and we'll let that soak for about at least 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. That'll help to soften the cashews up to make the blending process easier. And as you can see here, adding all the other seasonings that you saw in the ingredients. And then, from there, it's just a matter of blending them up. If you have a good high-powered blender, if you do have a Vitamix, or even if you have something like a NutriBullet, we actually just made this in a NutriBullet just a few days ago, Adrian and I, and it came out really nicely. And you can taste and adjust the seasonings according to your desire. Definitely a great option if you just want a simple dip. All right, jumping ahead of myself here, we're going to get to these plant-based loaded nachos next. But even if you don't want to use these to make nachos, if you just want a simple dip, all right, as we talked about, a lot of people are trying to dip things on the Super Bowl. That's a great option right here. All right, next, as you kind of saw in the video as it leaked, are these plant-based loaded nachos. And y'all, I'm telling you, these are another staple in our household. Adrian absolutely loves these. I tell you, anytime that I mention, hey, I'm thinking maybe we can have nachos for the weekend, she is an emphatic yes, yes, yes. I mean, she would probably eat these almost every day of the week if we made them. But it actually uses that cashew cheese that we just showed you. And so what's great about nachos is that you can build them according to your preference. You can customize them. These are the ingredients that we use to make ours. So we do use a plant-based beef. Practically, we use Beyond Beef for ours, but you can use some other protein source if you want. One of the things that we like with something like the Beyond Beef is that it has that more beefy, meaty texture. But we've also made this with, I've done it with a mix of lentils, red lentils, and mushrooms, and I kind of like chop that and blend that up, and it kind of has a meaty taste as well in texture. We use a taco seasoning mix to cook that meat in, and then we top it with black beans, red onions, red bell peppers, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage again so that you all can see it. But yeah, very, very easy to make. You know, again, you can customize it all. You just chop up all of your veggies, all of your ingredients. There's me making the Beyond Beef in the skillet, seasoning that, and then again, like I mentioned, adding that taco seasoning mix that just gives it a nice flair. Because I mean, flavorings, the flavorings in these nachos, they really do come together, and they just explode. I mean, and we like using white cheddar, the organic white cheddar Doritos. I think that's one of the X factors of this dish. To be honest, it just, again, just a combo of flavors. Now, this obviously doesn't make it vegan with those specific Doritos because they are cheese flavor, but you can easily make this fully vegan if you want it by just doing regular tortilla chips. We talk about the lava effect. You just see the cheese oozing and running down, and then, yeah, just sprinkling off with some cilantro, and it is absolutely bomb and bonkers. Like, yeah, I mean, you'll really be impressing your friends and family with this one. I'm just saying. All right. I'm leaking the next one as well. But that is the loaded plant-based nachos. The next, the chicken chili, white chicken chili, or in our case, white no chicken chili. So the reason why we call it no chicken is because we do use a chicken substitute. I feel like football season screams chili, right? I mean, and for some of you, even though we live in South Florida, for many of you all in the country, in the world right now, it's probably pretty cold where you're at. And so, there's nothing like watching a good game of football with a nice hot or warm bowl of chili, especially white chicken chili. And so we've always enjoyed white chicken chili, even when we did still eat chicken. I mean, that was, one of our staples. Adrian always made it. So we figured, once we started eating more plant-based, to make a plant-based version of it. And so, again, another very efficient, time efficient recipe. So, everything that I'm sharing, we're not making everything from scratch, right? Because, you might be at a time crunch. And so, we're trying to, a lot of the ingredients that we use are things that you can just grab really quickly from a can, or that is packaged, but still gives you some good sources of fruits and veggies and plant-based sources. So with this, it's just a couple cans of white beans, can of white corn, plant-based chicken. Now, the one that we use for this recipe is by a brand called Daring. And let me know in the comments if you've heard of this brand, but this is a brand that we've used for probably the past couple years, and we like them. I mean, they do have a pretty good plant-based chicken. And what we also like about their chicken products is that they don't contain a whole lot of ingredients. So their chicken pieces are pretty simple. They're pea protein based, as I believe pea protein based. I could be wrong. Someone maybe fact check me. I can't remember if it's pea protein or soy protein based. I want to say pea protein, but someone will fact check me. But we use these Daring pieces, and they taste really, really good. Yeah, there's just some shots of it right there. And again, all of the ingredients you see, just the white beans, the white corn. We just use some simple veggie stock. This one has a cream of cauliflower soup that is cream based, so it does contain it contains dairy, a little bit of dairy. So, but you can easily swap that out for a fully plant-based condensed cream soup. It was just not one that we had in making it this particular time. But you really just cook the chicken. Beware, because sometimes it can stick to your pan or stick to your pot. We shred it up, and then from there we just add all of the rest of the ingredients. I'm just going to skip ahead here, kind of fast forward. There you see that taco seasoning pack again. We like using that organic taco seasoning pack by McCormick. And that's what's going to provide most of the flavoring. You just let that stir, let that simmer. And then we like to add green into a lot of things just to, hey, easy way to slip in some more veggies. So in this sense, we use some shredded kale, adds a little pop of color, and then top it with whatever you want. We use some plant-based shredded cheese, some green onions. You can eat it with chips. And then voila, you got your plant-based white chicken chili. Another really good, solid recipe. Can't miss with that one. And so, yeah, gotta love the white chicken chili. Next is another very special one to our hearts, folks, and that is this ginger barbecue tempeh. Now, tempeh, as you know, us on this channel, we love tempeh. We love doing tempeh recipes. Tempeh, as you've probably learned if you watched one of our previous videos on gut health. Last month, we did a video all about gut health and how to improve your gut health, different foods to improve your gut health for this year. We'll put a link up to that in the cards right now so that you can take a look at that. But one of the things about tempeh we talked about is that it's a symbiotic food, meaning that it contains both pre and probiotics. All right. So you really get the best of both worlds when it comes to a food like tempeh. And so tempeh, and again, if you're not familiar with tempeh, it's made from fermented beans. Typically, those are soybean based. But yes, it's fermented soybeans that have been packed tightly together, and they kind of form these almost like tightly packed, almost like steaks or like a yeah. I guess you can call them steaks. You know, tempeh steaks, quote unquote. So we use Light Life tempeh. That's the one that we buy from Publix. Very protein dense food. Tempeh is 18 grams of protein per serving. I mean, that's really, really good, folks. I mean, if you're someone who's trying to increase the amount of protein that you're getting into your diet on a plant-based diet, tempeh is a great source. And so just a serving, again, it's about 3 ounces of tempeh. It's going to give you about 18 grams of protein. But the key or the X factor, really, a lot of the recipes, you think about recipes that have an X factor, the things that set it off. For this, it is the ginger barbecue sauce that we make. I mean, the idea just it came to mind of, like, you know, adding ginger, some shredded, or what we do is we grate the ginger, or sometimes we'll puree it, and then we add that into the barbecue sauce, and y'all, like, it is absolutely bananas. And yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, get a load of that view. I mean, y'all, we just talked about how the Super Bowl folks are all about grilling, right? And barbecue is very much a part of that. It's part of the fabric of football food. And so this, again, another very simple recipe. We use 3 of these tempeh steaks because, you know, we oftentimes will like to meal prep with this. And then, yeah, you, again, trying to go for efficiencies here. So this is an already made barbecue sauce, but if you want to make your own homemade barbecue sauce, by all means, go for it. And so what we'll typically do, we'll slice up the tempeh into thin strips, or you can cut them up into cubes if you want. We'll then season them just using a little bit of a neutral flavored oil, some smoked paprika, just to get a little bit of flavoring onto it, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then shake it up. And then what I like to do first is actually sear the tempeh in a cast iron skillet just to cook it a little bit, just to knock out some of that tempeh, that raw tempeh taste. And then after that is when, you know, I'll kind of wash out the pan a little bit. This is pureeing. I decided to puree the ginger this time. And then from there, just add the barbecue sauce back into the skillet, then add the ginger. All right. Add a good bit of that. The more, you know, based on how much of a ginger taste you want, you add more ginger. Let that stir around over the heat to allow the ginger flavor to integrate, because we want it all in the sauce, y'all. And then from there, just adding the tempeh right back in, let it mix around, stir around, and that is the sight that you want. So, you know, you can eat this by itself. You can put it on sandwiches if you want. However you want to do it, you can't miss with it. Just can't miss with it. I'm saying this this is a video about can't miss recipes, and ginger barbecue tempeh is definitely one of them. Next recipe is a very simple 10-minute guac. Okay. And to be honest, you could probably make this in less than 10 minutes because guac really is an easy thing to make. If you've never made it before, then, think about removing one of the barriers to you making a more plant-based dip, and know that guacamole is very easy to make, folks. And then the one that we make, this is what we use: few Hass avocados, specifically Hass avocados, not your other kinds like your Fuertes or some of the other species of avocados. The Hass have that creamy factor. So you want to use Hass avocados, lime juice, red onion, cilantro, salt, pepper, garlic powder. We like to use a little bit of that as well. And, again, just another very easy thing to make. Just chop everything up. Make sure you have some good old avocados that you're using. If you find any bruises in the avocados, just scoop them out. This is actually a tool that we found recently. It's a nice tool that you can strip leaves off of herbs with. It's a nice little kitchen gadget we use. And so from there, we just scoop all of the avocados in. We mash them up with a potato masher. So you don't even need a blender for this, folks. If you just have a potato masher, or if you have a mortar and pestle, anything like that, you can make it. Add all of the ingredients, stir them up, and then boom, you got your guac. Again, takes 10 minutes or less to make. You can serve them with some tortilla chips. Right here, I'm using plantain chips, and they're always a winner. So we have the 10-minute guac that you can definitely add to the mix. The next, sourdough bruschetta pizzas. All right, sourdough bruschetta pizzas. Now, this is something that, if you like pizza and you kind of want to make your own style of pizzas, this is a nice, easy, fun recipe to make. Making it obviously using sourdough bread, which, as you know, sourdough bread is another good gut healthy food, as long as you're not allergic to gluten, that is. But another good gut healthy food because it does contain, it's made by fermentation, so it does contain some sources of probiotics. Here are the ingredients. So you just thinly slice some sourdough bread. We use baby portobello mushrooms that we make. We kind of saute into the pan. Use some shredded vegan cheese, and then the liquid aminos, Worcestershire, and liquid smoke are used to season the mushroom mix. Matter of fact, let me just roll that footage for you all. All right. So let me just skip ahead here. This is what we call our mushroom trifecta. So these are three things that we like to use when cooking mushrooms, if we want to give it just a nice smoky kind of umami flavor. So we use liquid aminos, liquid smoke, and some Worcestershire. And then again, of course, guys, like if you want to make that fully vegan, just use vegan Worcestershire. We're not fully vegan, so not everything we make is fully vegan. But we consider ourselves more we eat a plant-based diet. But here you see liquid aminos, a little bit of Worcestershire. I don't really measure anything, but in the recipe ingredients, I do include some specific measurements. There we go again, adding a little bit of kale for some extra green. You can easily add greens into things, folks, just for a few extra veggies, just by chopping up some kale or some spinach and just tossing it in there. Let it wilt. It's a great way to add some color to your meal as well. It makes it look pretty and attractive. And then you slice up your sourdough. Now with the sourdough, we just spread a little bit of olive oil, some garlic powder, and then add the shredded vegan cheese. So again, use whatever cheese you like. And then we actually will bake that in the oven to let the cheese melt first before adding the mushroom kale topping on at the end. So as you see here, just got it out, then adding on that mushroom kale topping. And then from there, you plate it up. You add a little bit of the balsamic glaze that we like to use. Also added some pine nuts, and then boom, there it is, folks. Again, another recipe that probably will take you 30 minutes, even if that, but another sure shot winner. All right. And last but certainly not least, we have our football field Chipotle salad. Now, the reason why we call it the football field Chipotle salad is because, as you can see, it is shaped like a football field. So, if you want to get into some football food art, you really want to impress your family, your friends. This is one that you can make. So it's basically like basically a big salad made in like a casserole type of dish, and we decorate it like a football field, y'all, like just like a stadium. And so it is the perfect football theme type of dish, and it is a salad. It is a salad. It actually kind of looks like, it actually kind of has Kansas City colors, more Kansas City colors in it than San Francisco, I would say. So if you are a Kansas City fan, you might want to make this. But yes, another simple recipe: tortilla chips, lettuce, black beans, red onion, bell peppers. We use shredded vegan cheese for this as well. Avocado, pumpkin seeds, cilantro, plant-based or vegan ranch, and a chipotle vinaigrette. And this is the recipe for the ingredients for the chipotle vinaigrette. We make it a sweet chipotle vinaigrette. So we use a neutral oil. For us, that's grapeseed oil, some apple cider vinegar, some chipotle peppers again, and with some of that adobo sauce, some garlic. We use agave to sweeten ours, but you can use honey if you want, or something else. A little black pepper, smoked paprika, and let's roll this footage to check that out as well. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the football field chipotle salad. I like to call it the Super Bowl salad. But again, similarly, we're using chips. There you can see Adrian getting hype about that one. We use chips that are not fully vegan, right? So we're using those white cheddar Doritos again, and some other chips, the popcorners. But like I mentioned, you can use regular tortilla chips to make this fully vegan. Just show you here. So we use yellow bell pepper to make the goalposts. So so yeah, this is I put my my culinary art skills to the test with this recipe. And it first time was actually making this was filming this video. Surprisingly, we just did this for the first time last year, and I must say I thought it came out all right. The uprights, I wasn't sure at first, but hey, sometimes you got to just go for it. You just got to just go for the touchdown. All right. Yeah, this is for the chipotle vinaigrette. I'll just kind of fast forward and show that a little bit. And yeah, this is the main part where, kind of building out the salad. This is using the lettuce as the football field. I mean, it's green, so it works, obviously. And then it's a matter of just stacking the chips all around. You can consider that like your stadium or your stands. Season the black beans, get those a little mix. And then from there, it's just a matter of building the football. I would say this was the hardest part of it, building the football, because you're trying to shape it and then use the ranch to, make the white aspects of the football. One thing about them, though, is that, if it takes too long, the ranch will start to kind of sink down into the salad. So I found myself, as I was making this, I was having to add a little bit more ranch so that it, didn't look so sunken in. But yeah, from there, you just add all of the other toppings. As you can see here, the plant-based cheese, the red onions, the red bell pepper. Think of it as like confetti. The yellow bell pepper as well. Use that. Cilantro. Added some pumpkin seeds, some pepitas, just to add a small amount more of protein. And let's get to pouring on the dressing here. Oh yeah, the avocados. Those represent the tunnels that the players run out of. So that's what that's for. And then there's the sweet chipotle vinaigrette, and that's what really brings it all together. I mean, that chipotle vinaigrette, basically what it is, it's kind of a copycat chipotle vinaigrette recipe from the restaurant Chipotle, the Chipotle restaurant. But we just, found a recipe that's kind of, similar to that, and we love it. We love using it. But those are the 7 recipes, everyone. And, as you're thinking about planning for, again, your Super Bowl party, enjoying the Super Bowl, one of the final things just want to mention is, please remember to snack responsibly, kind of like that infographic shared. Even though these recipes that we just showed you are plant-based, right? And even though you can make plant-based things. The recipes that we've shared are a little bit more on the heartier side. As you can see, I use, some more processed plant-based foods, even though I'm not knocking processed plant-based foods, but sometimes, those they're still processed, right? So they contain maybe a host of ingredients, some of which can maybe be more difficult to digest, so on and so forth. So just make sure, I just want to encourage you all, in order to try to have as healthy of a Super Bowl while still being enjoyable, to just snack responsibly, plan ahead. If you're someone who plans to attend a Super Bowl party and you know the people aren't going to be serving maybe the types of foods that you typically eat, then maybe eat prior to, right? Maybe eat a meal prior to, so that way by the time you go over there, you can just watch the game, or just have a beverage or something, or maybe hopefully they have a salad over there. I hope. Maybe you need to find some new friends if they ain't got one. Just playing. But no, honestly, plan ahead, or maybe even you bring something to the party that you know that you can eat. Bring one of these 7 recipes that we just showed you. All right. Again, you'll probably really impress some of your friends, particularly those who may not eat predominantly or make plant-based types of foods or meals, or eat in that same type of way. You can introduce them to something new. But all that said, if you all want to take a deeper dive into all of these recipes that I just shared, and actually look at the full video, watch the full video from the footage that I was showing you all of these recipes, then click on the video that you see here to the top right, and we'll see you in that video. Make sure you have a fun, safe, and healthy Super Bowl, and enjoy the game. Peace.